Hey guys, welcome to Digit.in, and today we're going to be reviewing the HP Envy. Now this is the latest laptop from HP, and it's this particular Envy, the Envy 15, is actually geared towards creators, and HP is being very bold with the kind of competition that they're trying to take on. They want this to be the MacBook Pro replacement or even potentially a replacement for the Dell XPS. So let's see what it has to offer, whether it stands up to its promises and the hype or not. But before we do, make sure to hit the like and subscribe button on our channel, and also hit the bell icon so that you don't miss any future updates from us. With that out of the way, let's begin. काला पानी कौन पीता है? मैं पीता हूँ. Mint का flavor है इसमें. Okay, so let's first go over the specs of the NV15 that we've got. Now this particular unit is powered by the Intel Core i7-10750H processor. This chip has 6 cores, 12 threads, adequately powerful for creators. There's also 16 gigs of DDR4 memory, a 1TB Samsung NVMe drive which has really impressive read-write speeds, and of course the NVIDIA GTX 1660 Ti. The display is a full HD IPS panel with a refresh rate of 60Hz. Now mind you, this is not a gaming machine, but it has similar specs that a gaming machine would have. So we will of course cover gaming, but since HP is targeting this machine particularly towards creators, what we're going to be talking about in detail is the creative workloads and its corresponding thermals. Now, one bit about the specs that is actually very impressive is that HP has swapped out the traditional copper pipes in favor of a vapor chamber to cool the CPU and GPU. So this is actually very interesting for us to sort of evaluate, and we've got some numbers here that we want to look at, and let's see where we stand. So first off, let's look at creative workloads. Now, if you're a photographer or if you're a filmmaker or a 3D artist, you would know the importance of a powerful CPU paired with a powerful GPU, but also adequate amount of RAM. Typically, when you're running, let's say renders in Lightroom, Premiere, After Effects, any of this sort of thing, RAM is actually one of those understated things that gets eaten up first. So you want to have adequate amount of RAM, and the Envy offers just enough, about 16 gigs of it. So that's one good part. In terms of the Lightroom render test, so this is very interesting. Now, if we compare the Envy to the Omen Gaming 15 that we reviewed a few weeks ago, there's actually a lot of very interesting insight that comes out. For starters, the Envy was much slower in its render times in Lightroom compared to the Omen. This is actually very surprising, and we ran this test 3 times over to verify. The files were the same, everything was stored on the internal drive, all the test conditions were identical between the two laptops, but yet we find that the Omen was able to complete our 50, 100 and 500 raw batch export in nearly half the time. Well, not exactly half, but almost 30% faster than the Envy. However, where things do change is when we got down to exporting our 4K project. Now in Premiere, we loaded up the same 4K project that we do for all of our testing, and the Envy actually manages to export it a few seconds faster. Let's say the 4K 5-minute render takes 264 seconds by the Envy, and the Omen completes the same thing in 289 seconds. But where you start seeing major differences is in the longer renders, because those are more taxing not only on the hardware, but they also generate more heat. So the 20-minute 4K render, the Envy completes in 653 seconds, and the Omen takes 1002 seconds. So that's almost 7 minutes faster, roughly 6 to 7 minutes faster, and that's a big gap. The projects are the same. Again, the test conditions are the same. The Omen was in its performance mode, the Envy was in auto mode, so you have that. If you look at temperatures, now this is also very interesting. All of this really ties into the vapor chamber that's cooling the Envy versus the very robust cooling system that's also there in the Omen. While the surface temperatures on the Omen were much cooler, the Envy heats up on the surface because it's using aluminum for the keyboard island. So you notice higher temperatures there. So the keyboard center on the Envy was about 48 degrees across our testing, whereas on the Omen it was at about 42. So that 5 degrees does make a noticeable difference. Similarly, on the WASD keys, we had 40 degrees on the Envy and only 37 degrees on the Omen. However, Where things are drastically different is in the CPU temperatures. So for example, during the 20-minute 4K render on the Envy and the Omen, the Envy CPU temperatures like stay well below the 90-degree mark, maybe touching 91, 92 degree at most. Mostly they stay in the 70 to 80 degree range. Whereas on the Omen, they mostly stay in the higher 80s and 90s, even touching about 100 degrees in a few instances. So the CPU is definitely running hotter, and therefore the clock speeds are lower compared to the situation that's going on with the Envy, right? So the vapor chamber cooler definitely is helping out with the Envy's temperatures. The CPU temperatures are remaining cooler, which is also why in workloads which are dependent on both the CPU and GPU, and you don't want them to throttle, the Envy does have a better cooling solution in place. Where this doesn't work, however, is for gamers. Now, if you're going to be gaming on this laptop as well, although HP says that this is not what it's meant for, but if you do decide to fire up a game of, let's say, Forza Horizon 4 or Shadow of the Tomb Raider, again, you get fairly good frame rates, as we noticed, well higher than the 60 FPS mark, whether you're using the high graphic preset or the medium one. So you're not going to have any problem there. But what again becomes an issue is that you can feel the heat over a period of time from the keyboard emanating onto your fingers. Overall, the thermal situation on the Envy is actually pretty good because the vapor chamber manages to keep the CPU and GPU temperatures fairly low so that they don't throttle. And actually, that's what you want. As a creator, when you're exporting large projects, you don't want any throttling taking place. So that's something that's clearly prevented by the vapor chamber. And at the same time, the fans don't get too loud either. So that's covering the performance of the Envy in terms of creative workloads and even gaming. If you're interested in what kind of gaming numbers you would get if you were to get this machine, all the numbers are on your screen right now. Moving past that, let's talk about the keyboard, the trackpad, and the I/O. Now, the keyboard on this is a chiclet style keyboard. It's got 1.4 millimeters worth of travel. The keys are nice, fairly large keycaps. Typing is very comfortable, so you're not going to have any trouble there. The trackpad uses Windows Precision drivers, which is very thankful. Like, HP is traditionally known to not cooperate and put Windows Precision drivers on the machines, but this one has them. So if you were to use the trackpad for editing, for tweaking your presets, etc., should not be a problem either. The I/O, on the other hand, is actually where it's really impressive and shows that this has a creator's bent of mind. On the left side, you have two Thunderbolt 3.0 ports. Now, this is very important. With Thunderbolt 3, the level of expandability you get is just phenomenal. So that is very helpful, not just in terms of being able to connect to a high resolution display, but also being able to attach a dock and then attach a lot more accessories, because on either side you just have a single USB type A port. There's also an HDMI port, so that's pretty much where it stops. But with the Thunderbolt and a combination of these other ports, you have great expandability. Now let's talk about the display. If you're a creator, you want a display that's not only color accurate, can be calibrated to represent the sRGB color space, but also is capable of reproducing the entire sRGB color space. Now, HP claims that the IPS panel on the Envy is capable of reproducing the sRGB color space in its entirety. There's also a 4K OLED version which covers about 94% of the DCI-P3, but this option is not yet available in India and is still on its way. The Envy's peak brightness, however, according to our test, was at about 300, little under 300 lux, with the panel being fairly consistent, to be honest. Across all four corners, there's not more than the 5 lux worth of variation, so that's actually pretty good. Color accuracy right out of the box, well, you'll have to actually if you're going to be doing any kind of color sensitive work, you would need to recalibrate the display for your in correspondence with the lighting in your working environment. Believe it or not, incident light does have an impact on the way you perceive colors. Therefore, it's nice to have a monitor calibrated to your working conditions. Overall display very nice, especially because it handles reflections very well. So throughout my time using the Envy, I did not experience any situation where I felt that strong lighting or bright lighting was having an adverse impact on the visibility of the content on the display, whether it was a movie, a photo that I was editing, or games that I was playing. So that HP is locked down pretty well. Last but not the least, we have the build quality of the Envy. Now, unlike the Omen, which had a fairly flimsy lid, the Envy is premium. It is supposed to go up against the MacBook Pro and the Dell XPS, so obviously HP could not have put out a flimsy product. There is very, very little flex on the keyboard. I mean, there is very slight flex, but it's not anything that's out of the ordinary. The base is pretty sturdy. The top is, it has a little bit of play, but it's not something that will make you feel like this is a subpar product. It's actually pretty good. Overall, the Envy actually feels really nice, and it does feel premium in both in terms of its design and build quality. And honestly, there really is no reason to feel like you're not getting your money's worth in terms of build and design. So let's wrap this up and talk about the Envy, who's it right for, what does it get wrong, etc. Now, HP is positioning the Envy as a creator's laptop, and for 1,66,000, which is how much this machine costs, you also have the XPS 15 available, and then there's of course the MacBook Pro, which HP is directly taking shots at. Now, the cheapest MacBook Pro 16-inch is about 2 lakh rupees. It doesn't offer you 6 gigs of video memory, but what you do get is a very impressive ecosystem that manages to outperform even higher end hardware from the Windows side of things. But it is very pricey. Then if you look at the XPS, if you compare it to the latest XPS that's just been launched, that one is about 1,86,000 and the Envy is 166. So you have the Envy that is cheaper, but the XPS is far slimmer. It's got a gorgeous four-sided narrow bezel display, and it is actually the epitome of solid construction when it comes to Windows based laptops. So there is that, you are paying a premium for that, and the carbon fiber palm rest, etc., etc. The HP Envy is not using any premium materials, so you have, but in terms of performance, so we've of course reviewed the MacBook Pro 16-inch top of the line variant. You can actually check out the review which on our channel, but we've not reviewed the Dell XPS 15 yet. It's on its way, but the Envy so far does manage to hold its own for the price. It does offer very good performance, and it's offering very good sustained performance thanks to that vapor chamber. So overall, the HP Envy is not a machine that you should ignore, especially if you're looking for a laptop to create content on, and especially if it's going to be video content, because photo workloads, it's all right, but with video is where you see more sustained stress on both the CPU and GPU. So the Envy does get good points. It does get a good recommendation from us for creators. So that's a quick wrap up of this review, and if hopefully you guys enjoyed it. If you have any questions, make sure to leave them in the comment section below, and I'm going to try and get back to you as soon as possible. Thank you guys for watching, and I'm going to go and prepare for my next review.